When picturing an abusive relationship, society has conditioned us to look for obvious, destructive evidence: the black eye, the punched wall, or the shattered screen. Relying exclusively on physical violence to define abuse creates a massive blind spot. This leaves millions of people trapped in invisible cages, exhausted and terrified, wondering why they feel so entirely broken when their partner has never actually laid a hand on them. This blind spot leads to the most common and judgmental question outsiders ask: if it is so terrible, why don't they just leave? The answer requires understanding two difficult truths. Nobody stays because they enjoy being mistreated, and the abuse itself is rarely constant. Abuse operates as a calculated architecture of control. It is a systematic pattern of behavior designed for a single purpose: to establish and maintain absolute dominance over another person. People stay because they are caught in a highly effective, deeply disorienting psychological trap. To understand why someone cannot walk out the front door, we have to look past the arguments and reverse engineer the design of the trap itself. To make sense of the confusing, chaotic rhythm of these relationships, we turn to a framework developed by psychologist Lenore Walker. She identified what is known as the cycle of abuse. This diagram illustrates how the cycle operates in 4 distinct phases. It begins with tension building. The abusive partner becomes easily agitated and highly critical. The victim is forced to walk on eggshells, desperately trying to placate a partner who is constantly shifting the goalposts so that nothing is ever good enough. Eventually, that mounting pressure breaks. This is the incident. It might manifest as an explosive screaming match, an episode of severe emotional destruction, or intense physical intimidation. What follows the explosion is what keeps the victim anchored. In the reconciliation phase, the abuser executes an immediate shift. They apologize profusely, shower their partner with affection, a tactic known as love bombing, and swear the outburst was a one-time mistake. The relationship then enters the calm. A period of peace settles in. During this time, the abuser acts exactly like the wonderful, caring person the victim originally fell in love with. This creates a hijacked reality. Victims cling to these peaceful phases, believing the gentle version of their partner is the true version, and that the abusive moments are just stressful aberrations. Outsiders often assume the victim is choosing to endure the abuse. In reality, the victim is staying for the reconciliation, blinded by the cyclical, manufactured hope built into this repeating loop. There is a critical flaw in viewing the relationship as a simple, repeating circle. Over months and years, the cycle operates as a tightening, downward spiral. Notice how the shape compresses. With every rotation of the spiral, the peaceful periods of calm get progressively shorter, while the abusive incidents become increasingly severe, volatile, and dangerous. While the psychological pressure mounts, the abuser builds external walls to ensure escape remains difficult. Financial abuse is a primary method. By confiscating paychecks, enforcing strict allowances, or running up massive debt in the victim's name, they methodically strip away the resources needed for independence. Digital coercive control adds a modern layer of entrapment. An abuser will demand social media passwords, track location data continuously, or install hidden stalkerware. This eliminates any remaining privacy or autonomy. The psychological and physical perimeter of the victim's entire world systematically shrinks with every rotation of the downward cycle. This constriction transforms a once confusing romance into a functional, highly effective prison. Breaking the trap requires accepting that the abusive behavior is the relationship's actual foundation. The periods of affection and the intense apologies serve as tactical repairs to the bars of the cage, designed to keep the victim tethered to the abuser. Recognizing the design of the trap is the first step, but taking action introduces a paradox. Statistically, the absolute most dangerous time for a victim of coercive control is the moment they attempt to leave. When a victim initiates an exit, the abuser realizes they are losing their single objective: control. To prevent the loss of that power, they often escalate their tactics to force the victim back into compliance. Because of this risk, the safest path usually requires silence. Victims should avoid confronting their partner with their realization and avoid threatening to leave during an argument. Safety depends on covert action. This means quietly building a safety plan, securing birth certificates and passports, slowly setting aside cash, and relying strictly on trusted individuals who operate entirely outside the abuser's influence. Reaching out for professional intervention is the critical final step. Organizations like the National Domestic Violence Hotline employ trained advocates who help victims navigate local resources and build personalized, secure exit strategies every day. You are not crazy, and the tightening spiral was never your fault. While the cage was built with precision, there are established strategic paths to reclaiming your safety and your life.